My goodness, there's so much going on. We got Chappelle and Rock news. Netflix alone is killing me. The Bill Burr special came out Monday, Letterman yesterday, Adam Sandler movie today, Amy Schumer on Saturday. I want to talk at length in the second half of today's podcast about Norm Macdonald's special and Bo Burnham's special. There's a Scrubs reunion. I'll get to that tomorrow. Wow, so much going on. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with jam-packed daily comedy news. Let's start with late night. They were catching up on the Queen's Jubilee. By the way, Palace Intrigue, and I'm the writer on that Royal Family podcast. We had a good week. Thanks, Queen. Jimmy Fallon said Britain marked the Queen's 70-year reign with 4 days of parades, parties, and celebration. Yeah, 4 days. Basically, the Queen is like your annoying friend who insists on celebrating their birthday month, Colbert. Lilibet took the throne at age 25 on February 6, 1952, so naturally the Brits are celebrating her 70th anniversary in June. They were aiming for London's annual day of sunshine. You know, Her Majesty did get some pretty fantastic weather over the weekend, I must say. Colbert, 70 years, makes it the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, so I believe the traditional gift to give her is Africa. Great joke, Fallon. It was a star-studded event with performances from Elton John, Rod Stewart, and Ed Sheeran. When Ed Sheeran walked out, the Queen was like, "Oh, Harry, you're back." Seth Meyers. During a parade over the weekend honoring her, a hologram of Queen Elizabeth was shown in her Gold State coach, and whatever you think of the Queen, her duet with Tupac was amazing. Colbert, nothing says you're healthy and doing fine like resorting to technology from Disney's Haunted Mansion. Kimmel, the crowd sang God Save the Queen as the hollow grandma passed them by. At this point, God must be like, enough already with the song. I'm doing it. She's 96. Do you not see me saving the Queen? The big news, if you prep your daily comedy news show, is Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle are going to do a concert together. Yeah, they'll co-headline. You're not going to go. It's in Britain. Saturday, September 3rd at London's O2 Arena. Hey, Brits, are you going to make me not pre-tape Labor Day weekend? You're killing me. Chappelle Rock. The show takes place after Chris Rock co-headlines a 5-night comedy tour with Kevin Hart. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 10th. Over the weekend, Dave Chappelle performed a surprise show at Shays Performing Arts Center in Buffalo. The show was announced just a week before. It sold 3,000 seats. The show sold out within 1 hour after the show. Chappelle announced all proceeds from the show will go right back to the community. This is to help support families who are the victim of the racially charged May 14th shooting at Buffalo Tops Friendly Market. No word from the laugh button if Chappelle addressed the tragedy during that show. Bill Burr popped onto the Red Sox telecast on Tuesday night. Sounds like it was pretty funny. They were promoting his Netflix show, and then a play happened, and he decided to make fun of Derek Jeter, saying, Derek Jeter would have made that a ball if it was a strike. Remember how I used to do that? I swear to God, like 6 times out of 10, he'd get a ball. Granted, he was one of the greatest who ever did it. Genius. I mean, that guy was incredible. I don't hate individuals. If they're great, I can't work up to that level. I hate, there's a whole bunch of Yankees that I love. I just hate them. Then Burr started talking about the Toronto Blue Jays, who were doing well. I gotta tell you, Toronto talking trash has really kind of lit a fire. It's really bugging me. Canada in general is low-key hostile. They try to act like they're the best white people. It's like, dude, there were people here before you, so get off your high horse. Big day, new Adam Sandler movie. Now, longtime listeners know that I believe most Adam Sandler movies are crap. The only ones that aren't crap are Uncut Gems, which is a fantastic film. Adam, more of that, please. And the ones with Drew Barrymore in them. The rest of them, crap. Jack and Jill, come on. It was actually banned in my house. My kids still talk about how I wouldn't let them rent it, and I said I would rather light a $5 bill on fire. That's how bad Jack and Jill is. And I haven't seen it. I can just tell from here. But Hustle looks like it'll be good. Adam Sandler was on with Jimmy Kimmel and said, I like playing basketball. I used to play a lot more. That was a setup for Kimmel to talk about how Adam has been seen at random games in parks when he's not filming his movies. Sandler said, I see a game going on. I know where parks are. If I'm shooting in a particular state or city, I'll ask around where some good games, and then I go and show up. He talked about a recent drop-in. That's how you know this was all a setup with Jimmy Kimmel. So I get to this game recently, and I say, can I get in there? I get in there. I run it up and down. The guy guarding me is a little weirded out. He starts staring at me, and we're running up and down the court. And I'm like, he's not even guarding me. He's feeling like weirded out. He keeps staring deep at me, and I'm like, how you doing, man? His teammates are yelling at him and stuff. He's got this weird thing going on. I said, buddy, I came here to get a sweat, you know? At this point, the guy stopped Sandler and asked him a question. He goes, are you Ben Stiller? Sandler said, yes, I am. Then I realized he thinks I'm Stiller, so I can foul a little more. I let him have it. Nice setup, Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Sandler. Kevin Hart, not afraid to work. He's got another project. This one sounds fun. Deadline reminds us, before Kevin Hart was a top comedian, global movie star, and media mogul, he was a lost 20-year-old in Philadelphia working at a sneaker shop. in a mall in the 1990s? Well, that's the premise for a new half-hour single-camera comedy. It's called True to Size. Get it? Kevin Hart makes fun of his own size, plus size is what a sneaker. Have I beaten the joke to death? Yeah, True to Size. We'll follow 20-something Kevin Hart as he stumbles into a new job selling sneakers at Sneaker World, and the family he makes out of its crew of BT misfits who are all equally lost on the path to figuring out life in their 20s. That does sound fun. John Oliver has offered to buy Melbourne's demonic banana statue. This from The Guardian. Apparently, Melbourne has a $22,000 traffic calming and public enraging banana sculpture. It was erected on Rose Street, Fitzroy, and intended to slow traffic, but within weeks it had been put into indefinite storage after a strong public backlash culminated in someone trying to decapitate it with a saw. The mayor, Sophie Wade, said Melbourne's not prepared to part with the statue, but offered John Oliver a private viewing. We're so excited to hear John Oliver loves our banana sculpture as much as we do, but I'm sad to say the city of Yarra is not ready to part with it just yet. On Sunday's Last Week Tonight, John Oliver offered to buy the statue for $10 and exchange it for a similarly sized statue of an alligator with a raised middle finger. Oliver then offered to sweeten the deal by donating $10,000 to Food Bank in Melbourne and $5,000 to Australia Zoo. The Australia Zoo donation would be directed towards the John Oliver Koala Chlamydia Award, which was, this is a real thing, which was established by Russell Crowe, who donated almost $80,000 that Oliver spent on various film memorabilia at Crowe's divorce auction. Oliver said, since the citizens of Melbourne seem to think their money's been wasted, I might have a solution for you. I would gladly take that banana off your hands. This is fun. He then talked about the alligator statue that he wants to give them. What would be more Australian than a dangerous animal telling anyone who comes near it to go F themselves? So if you take us up on our offer, this guy is yours, Melbourne. You have exactly 1 week to get back to us. Send us your banana. He added, it's basically the Kate Blanchett of banana sculptures in that it's a hauntingly pale Australian creature with a very striking bone structure. Hey, nice job, Tom Segura. He spent the morning the other day at the Dell Children's Medical Center meeting and playing video games with patients. He raised and donated more than $40,000 for the Starlight Children's Foundation. That nonprofit is dedicated to delivering happiness to seriously ill children and their families through innovative programs free of charge. Segura took a tour of Dell's children, spent time getting to know the patients, and he played a couple rounds of video games. He said, they're really great kids. You hear about what charitable organizations do, but to actually get to see it and experience it firsthand, I think it really changes it for you. It's a nice distraction. It's a nice escape from all the treatments and everything they have to go through. So it's awesome that they get this because of the work a place like this does. We have a nice little group on the Facebook group page. You can join us at facebook.com or whatever it is. It's called Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. That's what you want to look for when you're on the Facebook. Elisa wrote in, said, I'm surprised not to have heard much about Bo Burnham's Inside on the podcast. You might have mentioned it once. The you there is me. Bo recently released the behind the scenes with a few new songs and alternate ending. I found the special itself to be really great comedy and that I laughed a lot, related with some of his feelings, and felt it was a really insightful view of not only his journey, but the first 18 months of the pandemic. It made me uncomfortable at times, which most great comedy will do. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend watching. So I did just that, and I put it on Saturday night. And I was entertained, but I just didn't find it funny. So at some point I switched it off and then I went back to it Sunday night and went back in. And I really want to like it because I appreciate Elise commenting and I want to foster discussion and not be like, that sucks, I'm not watching that, and shut conversations down. That's the last thing I want to do. So I put it back on, gave it another shot, and it's just not for me. I think I just have too much gray hair now. I just wasn't laughing at it. It wasn't tickling parts of my brain. Becky jumped in the conversation and wrote, I'm going to lead with Bo is great. I know him through my kids and thought 8th grade was a very honest, insightful work that helped me understand growing up in the age of social media. I think my kids had a much tougher time with the pandemic than I did, and that Inside spoke to their experience and they loved it. But like Johnny Mac, I watched it and I felt it wasn't really for me. Becky then mentioned that she was curious to hear my thoughts on Norm Macdonald's special, so I put that on Sunday night, and wow. Norm's special is amazing. Now, right now, I have it at number 2 on my list of best comedy, funny things. I don't know what to call my list, but it's some sort of end-of-year list that I make every year. And right now, I have the George Carlin doc at number 1 and Norm a strong number 2. It's possible that I flip those by the end of the year, but I really, really, really liked the Carlin doc. As for Norm, as I watched it, it was so hard not to imagine him doing it on stage and mugging for the camera and getting crowd reactions. But even at a guy sitting at his kitchen table, it was funny. I've talked about on this podcast how I have Emperor of Rome syndrome, just to catch everybody up. I've listened to so much comedy since I started programming comedy at SiriusXM back in 2003 or 4, whenever it was, that my brain will just do this thing where like, oh, that's really funny, that's really great, but I don't actually laugh. The Norm special made me laugh out loud several times. And yes, it's poignant, and yes, you can see he's talking about his own death, but things we don't know. So that takes on a different poignancy. The closer that I don't want to spoil at all is fantastic, and we'll get a good laugh out of you. So really, really high recommendation on Norm Macdonald's special. Then there was the after show, and the after show is a little weird. So in a room there, it's David Letterman, Dave Chappelle, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Molly Shannon for some reason, and Conan is there. And at some point I was watching it and I was like, I thought Conan was on this, and Conan like almost disappears into the couch. Like he doesn't speak a lot and what he's wearing kind of blends in the couch. I'm like, oh, Conan's right there. Then my brain locked in, oh, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien in the same room. I'd like to hear them just have a conversation. But the whole thing's kind of weird. Letterman and Chappelle drive it. And then it's like, why is Adam Sandler there? And the whole thing just seemed like Netflix says, hey, you guys, we pay you a lot of money. We need you to do this Norm thing. Like the Conan I get, the Letterman I get, Chappelle, elder statesman in comedy these days. Okay, fine. But like I was like, I don't know why Sandler and Spade were there, and I don't know why Molly Shannon was there. Maybe she's best friends with Norm. Who knows? But that just didn't work, and I bailed on it. The Norm special might be stronger without that added piece. Okay, this next story, I'm not going to do my shtick. I'm just going to read to you what Yahoo wrote. Yahoo writes, Sarah Cooper, the comedian who rose to fame with her satirical TikTok lip sync videos of Donald Trump, was unexpectedly inspired by Dale Carnegie for her next project. Her new podcast series is called Let's Catch Up Soon, How I Won Friends and Influenced People Against My Will. It'll premiere June 23rd on Audible. It's billed as a self-help memoir in which Sarah Cooper takes on one of life's new challenges, connecting with people face-to-face after years of COVID isolation. Written between 2019 and 2021, Let's Catch Up Soon tackles the challenges of going back out in the world and seeing the bottom halves of people again. The project started when Cooper was asked to write a new take on the granddaddy of all self-help books, Dale Carnegie's best-selling How to Win Friends and Influence People, and her initial take was, it sucked. According to Sarah Cooper, it all sounded like a bunch of manipulative BS. People pleasers know all these tricks too well, Dale. So my plan was to rip this Dale person apart, but then she had an existential crisis, which involved edibles, that made Sarah Cooper realize she was lonely and wanted friends and community. So she decided to start trying Carnegie's tricks instead and discovered that they worked. In a statement, she said, this little Dale Carnegie book project morphed into something I wasn't planning or expecting. It changed when I changed, and then it changed me. Boy, Sarah Cooper's agent, great job, buddy. Yeah. From Engadget, TikTok, speaking of TikTok comedians who pantomime to Donald Trump videos, TikTok is launching a live subscription comedy docuseries at $5 for 8 episodes. The docuseries will be hosted by creator Jericho Minky. It's called Finding Jericho, and the series will feature Minky doing comedic interviews with characters like a clown from Craigslist. Sounds awesome. Meanwhile, from Yahoo, a new comedy network called Wahaha with Fireside, Mark Cuban is one of the investors in this thing. Cuban teamed up with TikTok comedian Adam Waheed. Adam says, let's say do a stand-up tour. It's only a certain number of people that can actually show up to the location, right? You're not going to get more than 60 or 70,000 people in one sitting. Yeah, but let's say I broadcast that stand-up show on Fireside. I could get 1 million people in there as Johnny Mac beats his head against a wall. It's just physically impossible to do that anywhere else. Wahaha, an entertainment network, will feature content generated by Waheed, who across platforms including TikTok and Instagram has 30 million followers? All right, and let's stop off at Gossip Corner. Today's Gossip Corner comes from Harper's Bazaar, who says Pete Davidson's bond with the Kardashian clan seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Okay, what's this? Well, on Saturday, Pete Davidson was spotted holding hands with Saint West, who is Kim Kardashian's 6-year-old son. They were shopping together in L.A., Kim not part of the duo. TMZ has a clip stalking the comedian with a 6-year-old boy, saying the clip shows the duo perusing items like hats at a kiosk and standing outside the Cheesecake Factory. And that is your comedy news for today. You can follow this show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your shows. If you enjoy what I do, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. Throw $5 in a tip jar. I'll head on over to the National Donuts chain and I'll fill this one up. This is almost empty. And if you'd like to become a premium subscriber, you can get these episodes ad-free and a little bit early by becoming a premium subscriber on Apple Podcasts. See you tomorrow.